Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the DC Public Service Commission's inaugural Certified Business Enterprise Webinar Series. My name is Donna Galloway, and I am your moderator for this event. Just a few housekeeping items. This event will be recorded. The chat is functional for any commenting, and we will be using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen for any questions that you may have. Those questions will be answered during the Q&A segment towards the end of the program. During today's webinar, we will highlight the Public Service Commission's mission and goals, which center around grid modernization, energy conservation, and consumer protection. It is through our CBE initiative that we are committed to awarding at least 35% of our procurement dollars to CBEs. Today's webinar is designed to educate participants on the procurement opportunities at the Public Service Commission, while also highlighting many of our innovative projects. We have allocated time, as I mentioned earlier, for Q&A. So please, any questions that you may have, feel free to submit those. At this time, I would like to welcome the Commission's Chairman, Willie Phillips, to make a few remarks. Chairman Phillips.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the first of our three-part webinar series focused on CBEs. The Public Service Commission is committed to this issue, and as a part of that commitment, we started an advisory council on supplier and workforce diversity over a year ago. And this event today is one of the best practices that was put forward. And also as a result of the commission taking a close internal look at what our needs are and to come up with a plan to be intentional about engaging and contracting with certified business enterprises. So I'm very proud to be here with you today. And I would like to now introduce to you our next speaker, who needs no introduction, Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie, who is the council member for Ward 5. He is a lifelong DC resident, and I will have to say a champion of this issue at the council, as well as throughout the region. And anyone who's ever appeared before Councilmember McDuffie, since he is the chair of the Committee for Business and Economic Development, which has oversight for the commission, I can tell you personally that he will grill you about your progress and your commitment to the issue of CBEs. So I don't have to, you don't have to experience that. I have experienced that for you. But without further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to get some opening remarks from our council member.
Thank you, Chairman Phillips. I appreciate it. As you mentioned, I'm Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie. I represent Ward 5 on the Council of the District of Columbia, and I also chair the Council's Committee on Business and Economic Development, as well as serve as the Council's Chairman pro tempore. I want to thank you again, Chairman, as well as Donna Galloway, for inviting me to speak with you all today. Our CBE laws exist to ensure that district-based businesses can share in the prosperity of our government's procurement portfolio. The CBE program also enables district-based businesses to better access the Public Service Commission's, as well as other agencies' vast contracting and subcontracting opportunities. And I want to commend today's attendees for being a part of this session and ensuring more of our government's dollars are going to district residents and recirculating throughout our local communities. During my tenure as chair of the Council's Committee on Business and Economic Development, I've been consistently outspoken about ensuring that our contracting and procurement procedures are following the laws that we've put in place for our certified business enterprises. The fact is, when CBE laws are flouted, district residents and our district-based small businesses are the ones who bear the cost. In last year's budget, I secured $750,000 to fund a disparity study that would analyze the inequities in our procurement process and serve as a legal predicate for reestablishing the district's minority and women business enterprise program. I fought for and funded this study because women and minority entrepreneurs deserve fair and meaningful opportunities to share in the district's prosperity. There was a recent announcement by the executive of the launch of this study, and I'm excited to see the process move forward expeditiously. A few weeks ago, I attended the unveiling of UDC Grown, a new state-of-the-art agriculture pod housed at the University of the District of Columbia's Bertie Backus campus in Ward 5 in partnership with Pepco. Now, this pod is a sustainable vertical growing environment that can produce food year-round with a significantly lower environmental footprint than traditionally farming techniques. This new technology could be significantly beneficial for district residents, particularly in communities that lack access to healthy foods and need more entrepreneurial opportunities. There's no reason that our local businesses cannot be the ones creating these vertical farms, and I hope that the Public Service Commission and other agencies and everybody who's interested will look for more opportunities to work with district-based small businesses in this space as well. I also want to commend PSC and Chairman Phillips for their efforts just in monitoring the DC Plug initiative. Chairman Phillips knows well that I really championed and included language in the bill when it was passed, working with then Mayor Gray and my colleagues at the council, so that 100% of the civil construction contracts that have been funded by district dollars are awarded to district-based CBEs, and the numerous feeder programs are circulating lots of funds and dollars throughout local businesses employing district residents here in our city. And so these are very important initiatives. Chairman Phillips has really been a champion for these initiatives. I've appreciated that the Public Service Commission routinely meets and exceeds their own CBE goals. And it's because of the dedication of Chairman Phillips and the other commissioners and his team that they're meeting their mark. And so there's some lessons that can be learned by some of the agencies across District of Columbia government. Again, I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. I think it's a good thing to have more people taking advantage of our CBE laws, and I encourage you all to stay involved, informed, and engaged throughout this hearing today, but also in our processes at the council. Thank you, Chairman Phillips.
Thank you so much for your remarks today, Councilmember McDuffie. At this time, I would like to welcome Paul Martinez, the Acting Deputy Executive Director at the Commission, to share information on how to navigate the procurement process at the Commission. Paul?
Thank you, Donna. Good morning, and we thank you for joining us. My name is Paul Martinez. I'm the Acting Deputy Executive Director here at the Commission. This morning, I'll be giving an overview of the role of the Office of the Deputy Executive Director, or ODED, as well as highlighting the DCPSC CBE initiative, and finally highlighting the RFP process here at the agency. Unfortunately, our senior contract specialist, Karen Hester, is not able to speak with us this morning, so please bear with me. Next slide, please. My office is responsible for contracting and procurement, information technology, fleet and facilities management, as well as the Office of the Commission Secretary reports to ODED. This is just a high-level org chart. Next slide, please. The mission in ODED with regard to contract and procurement is to facilitate the purchase of high-quality goods and services at competitive prices in support of the Commission's mission. We achieve this by customer service. We endeavor to be a trusted source of administrative and procurement resources for internal customers. Financial stewardship. We safeguard the funds entrusted to us through fiscal responsibility. Integrity. Maintain a high ethical standard as consistently demonstrated through compliance, transparency, and business practices. And finally, diversity. Identify and engage CBEs for professional service contracting opportunities. Next slide, please. Diversity. We mean district-based companies that are certified by the DSLBD. This is different than the federal 8A, SBA, and SBE certifications. Our areas and objectives focus are to increase competition. This is an agency goal. to increase CBE participation and growth in the industry. We don't want to get complacent and look to the same few companies every time. We want to ensure that we cast as wide a net as possible. This doesn't mean sending out every solicitation to 100 CBEs, but we do try to be fair and promote participation and growth in that area. We encourage eligible CBEs, those eligible to become a CBE, to actually follow through and check in with the DSLBD to become certified. And finally, we encourage partnering and mentoring of CBEs from non-CBEs. Next slide, please. So what is our industry? Our industry is energy and utility regulation. We need professional services in these areas. Sometimes that is a challenge in the district, but we do continuously look in these areas: accounting, economics, law, technology, marketing and communications, as well as engineering. Next slide, please. So we post and advertise solicitations on our website. Also, OCP and DSLBD have a link to all our solicitations on their websites as well. Next slide, please. How are solicitations disseminated to the public? Again, they're posted to our website for contracts with a value expected to exceed $100,000. Solicitations are also updated when addendums are necessary, and they're posted there and sent to our bidders list. The point of contact for solicitations and opportunity is listed on every RFP that we post. For general inquiries and about opportunities to present your capabilities and to be added to our bidders list, you may contact Ms. Rayleah Roberts at rroberts@psc.dc.gov. Next slide, please. Finally, the time frame given for responses to the solicitations. Typically, it's 30 days to respond, and more recently, a little bit longer to allow time for offers to partner with CBEs. So although it's we're an independent agency, we pretty much follow the standard and familiar RFP process. So the steps are outlined below. Number one, proposals are reviewed by an evaluation panel. This is high level. There are a few more steps we didn't want to get into. The panel evaluates and reaches consensus on which offers in the competitive range. Number three, procurement and evaluation panel may hold discussions or presentations with offers in the competitive range. And there's no guarantee that you'll make the competitive range. So you need to ensure that your proposal is your best. You don't always have an opportunity to sell yourself to the panel at a later time. Number four, procurement requests the BAFO from the offerers in the competitive range. Five, panel members review BAFOs and revise scores if necessary. Six, procurement prepares the contract, notifies successful offers, and then holds debriefings with unsuccessful offers upon request. Next slide, please. So some helpful tips. Reasonable and responsive is in reference to the proposal itself, whereas responsible pertains to the contractor's status with past performance, taxes, licensure, really just the integrity of the offer. Number two, be on time with your submission. Late proposals will not be accepted. A perfect example is if the deadline is 4 p.m., we have seen submissions in the last 10 minutes before the deadline, as well as a few minutes after, and unfortunately, those cannot be accepted. Number three, which should be number one, is really ask questions about anything that you're not sure of about the scope or what's being requested. ODAD has conducted surveys that have revealed that questions and answers may have cleared up ambiguities that discourage an offer from responding. The Commission welcomes suggestions and opportunity to clarify its statements of work. Offers typically submit more responsive proposals when the statement of work is understood. It increases your chances of making it into the competitive range. Number four, ask for more time, especially if you intend to satisfy the CBE requirement. Again, survey results have revealed that some potential offers did not have enough time to respond. They would have if they would ask for more time. Proposals drafted in the last minute reflect that and often don't make it into the competitive range, sadly. Number 5, follow the format requested. Another example there is do not include prices in the technical section when we ask for price information to be separated. Number 6, do not change the price format that is requested. For example, if we ask for fixed price, that's what we want. So we don't want to see hourly rates show up there. Number 7, non-CBEs must have CBE participation for at least 35% of the contract amount if required. And that's what we're talking about, contracts that are over $100,000. And this can be accomplished 2 ways, through partnering or subcontracting. Next slide, please. So we do have a forecast of upcoming solicitations posted on our website. It can be found in under About. Go to the Contracting and Procurement page, and it's 3/4 of the way down on the right. I meant to put a screenshot here, so I apologize for that. Steve Morman, our Chief of OTRA, Office of Technical and Regulatory Affairs, is going to go over potential future procurements in a few minutes. If there are any opportunities that you're interested in, please contact Ms. Ray Leah Roberts, and her contact information, I believe, was just shared in the chat. And I thank you, and we'll be sticking around, Steve and myself, for an upcoming Q&A. Thank you.
Paul, thank you so much for walking us through the Commission's CBE initiative and sharing useful tips related to the procurement process. Now that you all have an understanding of how the Commission manages procurement, Steve Morman, Director of the Commission's Office of Technical and Regulatory Analysis, will discuss the innovative projects at the Commission. Steve?
Good morning, folks, and thank you for participating in this exciting endeavor here. Donna, thanks for the introduction. I want to thank the organizers of this event for the opportunity to provide some insights regarding the Office of Technical and Regulatory Analysis at the Commission. We call ourselves OTRA for short. I hope that this short presentation provides you with some insights and understanding into the professional services opportunities being sponsored by the Office of Technical and Regulatory Analysis as we move through a given period of time. I will say, just speaking from personal experience in my 40 years of experience in this industry, both from both sides of the table, from the utility side and from the public sector side, this is a very exciting and transformational time to be in the electric and gas utility industries as the industry goes through a transformation and as the city decarbonizes and goes through its transformation to achieve its climate energy goals and its clean energy goals. Moving to the next slide. The OTRA group is organized into 4 offices, as you see here on the right of the page. Each office is led by a chief who often directs the activities of their respective unit, but also serves as a contract administrator for various consulting engagements that are sponsored by a respective unit within the OTRA team. In practice, all these teams collaborate and partner between themselves and with other staff groups at the Commission, especially our Office of General Counsel as a quasi-judicial agency. There's an awful lot of legal and regulatory expertise that's brought to bear on many cases before us. Turning to the next page. So the OTRA team essentially provides decision support and analysis on a variety of regulatory efforts. And in any given year, we may have 65 to 70 open cases spanning a wide spectrum of activities that you see on this page. I won't go over all these things, but I will make a few big picture comments. You know, for the last 10 years, we've been very focused on renewable energy as clean energy continues to expand at an exciting pace in the district. Over the past 5 years, you may have followed our grid modernization program, which initially was called MEDSIS and has now been rebranded to PowerPath DC. We've been very focused on upgrades and grid modernization to create the electric and gas grids of the future and position the city to accommodate and achieve its clean energy and climate goals. And just looking at the last 2 or 3 years, we've been very focused, like a laser beam, on making sure that the utilities stand up programs that advance the city's clean energy and climate goals as we move forward. Turning to the next page. So the OTRA folks in this organization also do a lot of line functions. First and foremost, we do a lot of field inspection activities to keep the city safe. We inspect gas pipelines. We perform other compliance and enforcement activities to make sure that our utilities that we regulate provide reliable, safe, and affordable service as we move forward. We also process renewable energy applications. Last year, for example, we processed 2,500 renewable energy facility applications for RPS program participation in this calendar year. We also license and oversee a wide portfolio of competitive electric, gas, and telecommunications suppliers. You may not know that as we speak, we have over 200 licensed gas, electric, and telecommunications suppliers and brokers in the city, providing essential services to our customers and citizens. We do, in our many activities, engage consultants. You will note on the bottom of this page that in the last 24 months, we've engaged about 10 to 12 consulting firms and professional services firms on a variety of activities, including many disciplines in the engineering field, mechanical, civil, electrical, finance, accounting, field inspection work. Oftentimes our field inspection contractors are required to have some federal certifications and training given the specialized nature of that work. Moving to the next page. We just wanted to, in the next 2 slides, give you a thumbnail sketch of the electric and gas and telecommunications grids in the city. This is an impressive energy infrastructure ecosystem in the city, as you would expect in an urban metropolitan area like we have here. The electric grid, for example, serves 320,000 customers in DC alone, with 2,400 electric circuit miles, and obviously many components, as you see on this page. For example, 60,000 manholes in the city that are used to provide electric service. We are very proud that as we speak, we have 9,000 renewable energy facilities in the district providing green power to our citizens and our customers. Moving to the next page, just to give you a sample of the complexity and challenges of the other grids in our city. The gas grid alone provides service to 165,000 customers. You may not be aware that we have over 1,200 miles of natural gas pipelines in our city, providing safe and reliable service. Moving to the next page. We must not forget our telecommunications grid. Right now, today, there are over almost 250,000 landlines, including Verizon and competitive local exchange carriers, providing service to over 50,000 landline customers for local exchange telecommunication services in the district. Moving to the next page. We have We have before us what I often refer to as the infrastructure decade. As you know, infrastructure upgrades are needed and required throughout the nation and also in the city here. This is just an example of a number of energy infrastructure projects that are underway and in flight in the city. We have a very exciting capital grid project that the commission recently approved, which is being undertaken by PEPCO for $850 million, which will provide a network transmission system into the city. It consists of about 10 miles of underground high voltage transmission lines and 3 upgraded, repurposed, and modernized substations in the city. So we look forward to increases in electric reliability and resiliency as we move forward on this project. We're working with PEPCO, as many folks on the call know, to continue to execute the DC plug undergrounding initiative. That's a $500 million project that will run through 2027. Washington Gas Light has a major accelerated pipeline replacement program, or upgrade project, if you will. We just approved a $150 million second phase of that project, following a $140 million phase 1, if you will, over the past 5 years. Together, all these projects roll up to $1.5 billion of spending in the city to upgrade the backbone systems that will provide us with a modernized electric and gas and telecommunications grid as we move forward into the next decade. Turning to the next page. This particular chart is a snapshot, if you will, on one page that provides you with an overview of the opportunities for professional services that OTRA will be sponsoring in the next 6 to 18 months. You can see, just as you scan down this chart, that we offer a wide spectrum of professional services opportunities for qualified CBEs that spans the gamut from engineering assignments to finance and accounting to many projects that will provide opportunities for professional services and will help the city and the utilities and help the commission in its oversight, regulatory oversight activities. Just to give you a couple of examples here, we will likely be looking at a Washington Gas Light rate case in the fall of the year. That is a very, as many of you know, that's a very robust regulatory process that the commission oversees to review and ultimately make a decision on a rate case. It involves evidentiary hearings, testimony, tens of thousands of pages of documents, and obviously we cannot do that alone, given all of our other assignments and our missions. So we, from time to time, deploy consulting firms to help us in that task. We also have a very exciting consulting engagement coming up regarding a review of the utilities climate business plans, as the utility companies in the district, both PEPCO and Washington Gas Light, help position our energy infrastructure to achieve many of the city's clean energy and climate focused goals as we move forward into the next decade and beyond. We just wanted to give you a little summary here to whet your appetite, if you will, to give you some perspective on the exciting opportunities that we may offer professional services CBE providers on. Together, all of these engagements roll up to about $1.8 million of opportunities as we move forward. I do have to say that all the information on this slide is obviously subject to final adjustment, approval by top management in the commission, and obviously subject to funding adequacy as we move forward. But we wanted to give you some heads up so you can begin to position yourselves and make the investments if needed into acquiring the expertise so that you can be a competitive bidder in the upcoming RFPs for all of these engagements. So with that summary, I want to wish you good luck in your contracting endeavors. And we look forward to working with many of you as we move forward through the rest of 2021 and beyond. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Donna.
Steve, thank you so much for sharing details related to our innovative projects, the Commission. We hope you all found this information presented today very useful. At this time, we'll transition to our Q&A segment, which will be facilitated by Ms. Felicia West. If you have questions, please submit those questions via the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The first question is, are there any marketing and communications opportunities for the PSC? And I believe this question is directed to Paul.
We do have plenty of marketing and communications opportunities throughout the year. And when they go over 100,000, we do issue RFPs that would be posted on our website. If they are under that amount, we do cast a net and try to reach out to CBEs, companies we've used in the past, et cetera. So I encourage you to try to get onto our bidders list by contacting Ms. Rayleigh Roberts.
Okay, next question. Paul, I believe this is also for you. You referencing your presentation, the evaluation committee and panels. Who sits on those evaluation panels?
Typically, it would be a contract administrator, somebody from the department that's actually requesting the good or service, and a member from the procurement team. Typically, we like to have an odd number, so 3 to 5 people. But those are the key players: someone from procurement and 1 or 2 people from the department requesting the good or service.
And also an additional question: if I am not selected for procurement, can I get feedback from the committee?
You can. You need to submit your request in writing to our contract and procurement professionals, Ms. Rayleigh Roberts or Ms. Karen Hester. We do hold in sessions, conferences with unsuccessful offers.
The next question: is there a place where I can find the list of CBE businesses to partner with?
DSLBD should have a full list on their website. We do not have a list on ours. So that can be posted into the chat in a few minutes.
I believe this next question is posed to Steve. What technical services are needed for the upcoming rate case?
Well, that's a great question. Rate cases really cover a wide spectrum of expertise. We will need, in a given rate case, we will need finance and accounting expertise, engineering expertise, economics expertise, given complex rate making and rate design issues. And we deploy all of that expertise on the many aspects of a particular rate case. So that's a standard part of our process, to really be looking holistically at the needs of the utility and the precise nature of their request.
Thank you, Steve. The next question is there a place where I can see all of the procurements listed for the DCPSC?
On our contracting and procurement page on our website, dcpsc.org, there should be a list. Currently, it's for technical. The list is pretty complete, the one that Steve just highlighted. Additionally, if we do have a non-service related or utility regulation consulting type procurement RFP, we would put it on that same page. It would be listed on that page.
I think this is an additional question for you, Steve. It says, where can I find out if there is a separate solicitation for engineering services for the rate case?
We're going to be taking a look at our professional services contracts for any upcoming rate cases. In the past, we've issued RFPs that bundled all of the technical expertise together. We may very likely break the rate case engagements down into separate RFPs. So for example, we may have a rate case solicitation for rate design and rate making versus cost of capital versus engineering versus economics. So more to come on that. I would pay attention to our procurement websites and watch that space in terms of how we package the solicitations. We may break it down into individual components so we can spread the work out and achieve our goal of 35% CBE participation.
Thank you, Steve. This is the last question I have. If you have questions, please enter them in the Q&A box so we can answer them. I'm a new CBE. I've never drafted an RFP for procurement. What resources can I look to, or are there samples that I can look to give me guidance on how to formulate a respond to RFP?
I believe that, so we draft the RFPs. If you want help responding to one, you should go to the OCP website. They do have a sub page. I had it on a previous slide, and unfortunately I got rid of it. They do have a department that kind of helps out smaller businesses, new businesses, CBEs. I'd probably butcher the name. It's something TAC, and it's a technical assistance.
May I intervene? It's the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and I can drop that link in the chat as well.
PTAC, yes. I did want to say, you know, a lot of the RFPs are, again, 100, and that's what we focused on today was 100,000 and above. We do plenty that's below that. If you did want to get on our list of potential CBEs that we send out to, should definitely contact Raylia Roberts to get onto that list.
And Donna, that was the last question that I'm sorry, I see one more question. We are DC CBE and track RFPs at the DCPSC as well as DC DOEE and DCSCU. I have specializations in decarbonization in the building sector. This is not a small business friendly way to track RFPs for a small business. Has the DC government considered consolidating their procurement websites, and where could we find or sift such keywords?
It's a great question. I'm not sure what OCP is thought of or how they would capture that. I don't know if Steve has any input either. We can delve into that, but again, I can't speak for every agency, and especially us. We're independent. There are other independents. I don't know how that could be accomplished.
Thank you, Paul. Donna, that's all I have for the moment.
Okay, thank you so much, Felicia. We, of course, will comb through the chat to see if there are any additional questions that we haven't answered. We'll be compiling a list of all questions or frequently asked questions and posting that information or answers to those questions on our website no later than June 9th, which is a week after the conclusion of our webinar series. At this time, I would like to ask Chairman Phillips to close us out. Chairman Phillips, please.
Hey, thank you, Donna. And I want to thank Felicia, Steve, and Paul, and all the commission staff that worked on this, this webinar series today. Also just want to encourage you to please share this information with your friends and colleagues. We are very excited about working with you, about potentially contracting with you. So, and also I would like to encourage anyone who's here or who may know someone who would like to become a CBE to attend our next webinar on May 26th, as well as the following one, the final one on June 2nd, which will give you an opportunity to hear from some of the CBEs that we are currently working with, and they can talk about the process from their point of view, as well as connect you potentially with other utility contractors in the District of Columbia. So again, I thank you, I thank the staff, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Thank you, Chairman. So that concludes our program. Thank you all so much. Again, we hope to see you all at our next 2 webinars. Next Wednesday, May 26th, we will have DSLBD and DCRA presenting, and the following week on June 2nd, we will have networking. Thank you again for attending. Bye-bye.